And I don't smoke. Sorry.
Do it honestly.
Okay,
I don't know, like, you can be a much better actor than that.
I mean,
I was
I'll
farting. Like, I was eating
Were you eating a
so
lot of
many eggs
protein?
and chicken, man. My body was like a giant gas chamber. Like, I was just like, too much gas.
You're
and
the
so much
closest to him
protein.
right now.
You might be in relationships, not in relationships. How do you navigate that in the public eye?
Some days you want to just like scream from the rooftop. Some days you just want to be like, no one can see this.
What is the line, if that exists, for art to draw inspiration from real life?
You cannot go beyond the law or the ethics.
True.
That's there. That's always there. But you can. It was very good, yeah.
It was like a mini therapy,
yeah,
but a
it
relationship
was
confirmation.
very different kind of a-
lots
yeah.
of farting, talking.
It was funny.
Hi everyone, this is Avanti Nagral, and I'm in conversation with the cast of Kho Gaye, Kahan, Ananya, Siddhant, and Adarsh exclusively for Sunday Midday. Do you all currently feel khoya hua or settled in your lives?
Sid,
Huh?
it's you. Oh,
That was
Currently, that's the answer. My, wow.
bro.
Method acting. We love to see it.
Never repeat myself as an actor.
Never repeat yourself. Do you, genuinely though, how do you feel at this stage?
I feel like I'm always spaced out.
Okay.
I space out like every
Same.
10-15 seconds. I start spacing out.
Do you time it?
Just
no,
pinch
not,
him.
not usually. not
Just
usually.
Wait, you've been spacing out. I was like, Adarsh is such a good listener because he's been so intentfully like
He's like
looking
staring
us.
at you.
While we've been talking and I'm like, wait, he's just been spacing out the whole time.
No, I mean, I also do listen, but I also do space out a lot. So like, yeah, I feel like I'm.
Oh,
lost
that
a lot
is
of
why you were
times.
kicking the table to be like in touch with it.
That's
Your
why
like
I do this.
Inception ka that lattu.
The two.
Yeah, I'm here.
Little
Beyblade,
quirks.
Huh?
Do you move your feet
No,
to
that's
I
just
do this a
me,
lot.
Yeah.
me being impatient and like, yeah,
and just
fidgety.
fidgety?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like our generation
Yeah.
doesn't know how to sit still. We need stimulus every few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and obviously the film also talks about that, right? Living in the digital
Yeah.
and the kind of offline worlds. As actors yourselves and, you know, people with public presences, do you feel like the persona you show online is similar to the person you are? Or where do you draw that boundary?
I don't show much. That's the thing. I like to keep it a little private.
Okay.
So because I don't think I have much to show. I'm quite boring, I feel. So मेरे पास कुछ है ही नहीं. I don't have so much to. So everything is through my characters on screen or through cinema, and that's how I would like to be remembered. Not beyond that. And otherwise, I'm just chill. I'm just like a boy next door kind of a vibe. There's nothing special or there's nothing like, you know.
I mean, I think each one of us is special, but I feel like there's also your little
Every
two-liners,
child is special.
chutkule, your little chats.
Oh, like yeah, that's the thing. I like to share my thoughts, more than my pictures, and I like to write, so I keep sharing so that in a way to kind of validate my thoughts as well. And also sometimes there are people you connect with. It's
course.
almost like a conversation with the world through text. That's the max I can go. There was a point where I was doing a lot. That was right after my first film, because I mean it was overwhelming and it was the first time I was receiving so much of love. So I was like, okay, let's show, yeah, let's be out there. And then I just got done with it very soon. And then I realized that no, I need to work on myself as an actor. And the more I keep myself private, the better I can, deliver on screen. Because there's a lot of work which goes in creating and crafting the characters. And if I'm there, and anyway, we have a lot of competition from creators like you who are killing it. So I don't think I can ever do that so well. The things, the way you guys do it. So so I've kind of taken a backseat. I'm like, okay, I'll talk to people through cinema, and that's my thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Use that as your lens. What about you, Ananya?
I think the attempt has been to be as real as possible. That's what I've tried to do without giving away too much of my personal life. But as when I'm on it, I try to be as real as possible. And yeah, because for me, like, so many young girls come up to me and they say, oh, we can relate to you, we really like how you are, we like your personality. And for me, that's a win, you know, it's a different kind of win. If I can make someone feel comfortable in their own skin, that's why I try to be as real. Like, I've always owned my mistakes, I've always, you know, not been afraid to mess up or say something wrong and be like, okay, cool, I did the wrong thing, I'll just be better the next time. So I want to show people that it's okay to not be perfect.
It makes you more human, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what people kind of want to see. Even you had started a movement so positive, right?
Yeah.
What was the intention behind that?
It was similar to this. I think it was just about, I think with cyberbullying, it's such a relevant thing, but I didn't feel like anyone was talking about it at that time, and people who were going through it didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't even know that there was a separate wing in the police that you can go and actually talk to, you know, that there were people in schools that you could actually talk to, the helplines. So I think it was about access and kind of starting the conversation about it. Yeah.
That's amazing. And kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Adarsh, I don't know what your thoughts are, but you've also been in the cinema. Are you spaced out at the moment? Okay, we'll catch you.
Jesus Christ.
Shouldn't have said that. Now every 15 seconds I'm going to be like...
No, but your first film
Will you
was
keep
what?
testing me every 10 seconds?
I'll just check. I'll snap. Your first film was 13 years ago? Was that the first time you were on screen?
Yeah.
So you've been in that kind of limelight for a long time. Do you feel like you've had to have different personas or...?
No, actually never been in the limelight pre-White Tiger. I was just working, and I also wasn't serious about acting really. I was more serious about singing, and I got serious only about acting around 2016-17.
Okay. I guess, because you are also a singer, right? And do you identify as an artist?
I do.
So do you feel this kind of identity, right, with the separation of your art and who you are as a person? Or do you feel like they're very similar when you sing about something or when you play a character?
I mean, of course, you try to find yourself in every character that you're playing. You try to find the similarities first. That's your first instinct. But it's also, when I try to play a character, I also try to play characters that are further away from who I am, I think, because I like the idea of being a spy and of being like pretending to be somebody else and believing in so much that you actually start believing that that's your reality. And I also probably like to do that because sometimes I feel like when life gets a bit too hectic, then I can adopt like a new person's problems.
Escape.
And the character's insecurities and the character's likes and dislikes become my likes and dislikes. So it's exciting, and I feel like as a person I constantly need to be stimulated and I get bored of things really quickly. So yeah, I feel like acting and performance and music in general helps me fulfill all these things.
You get into that zone of escapism.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like it's not just your profession though that does that. I think today everybody feels like they want some form of escapism, right? A lot of people curate their social media feeds. You see it in the film as well, where it becomes a form of escape, it becomes a form of scrutiny. People are constantly checking on each other. It's a hard line, right? Because you have to find what is true and what's not. When it comes to that space, I'm just a few questions. Number one, have any of you ever stalked anybody on the internet?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's very normal.
But do you feel like as a public person now in the roles that you are, it becomes easier or harder?
To stalk people on the internet, it's very easy. I think you can be anywhere.
Don't leave any evidence unless you like somebody's
Unless you
photo by mistake
accidentally like
or
it.
screenshot or something.
There's a tutorial in
You're
our film. So make a fake profile and you can,
Yeah.
But I do it with my real profile also. I'm very shameless. I'm like,
You're like, I want to search something, I
Yeah.
search it. No, that's totally fair. I think the hard line comes when you're trying to, as the three of you mentioned, keep parts of your personal life private, right? So
that's a task.
how does it feel, for example, and the movie touches upon this too, right? When it comes to love or dating or relationships, do they feel real unless they are, broadcast for the public, or in y'all's cases, you might be in relationships, not in relationships. How do you navigate that in the public eye?
I think the less so for us we keep it away, sometimes the more real it feels, because I think it's probably one of the only things we can protect, because everything else is mostly out there. But it's to each their own, like Adarsh is very open about his relationship and everything, and he's very comfortable doing that. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think it depends on who you are, the person you're
what
with
your
also.
outlook is and what you,
Of course.
Yeah, I think it depends on you and the
personal
person
choice.
you're with and everything, It depends on the day. Some days you want to just scream from the rooftop. Some days you want to be like, no one can see this. So yeah.
What makes you comfortable sharing?
I don't know. I just feel like there's not much to hide.
Totally fair.
Cute.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, it's chill only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I have been in situations where I've had a relationship that I shared online, was public, and then the breakup ended up being public too.
Oh.
And
Archive.
no, and not even archive because it exists, right? It was a part of your life.
Yeah, why
And
would
did that
you want to
become
forget
messy for
that?
you?
Yeah, it became very messy for me, and so I'm curious because while this was happening, I was starting to understand what it was like to be in the public eye, and have people watch you and have something like this amplified. And for all of you for whom your lives currently are, I wonder, do you think twice before you say go on a date to a public place or?
Yeah, always.
Respect,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'd like to keep it very, very private.
But do you think about it? Especially, I mean, that's the thing, right? When you're in a public space, you might attract somebody else who's also public because they will get it. So do you...
What is this, a therapy to kind of make me confess or what?
No. I'm just curious. Do you feel like...
Expressing myself on Instagram about my relationship.
not expressing yourself on Instagram.
I do on my city chats, man. Whatever I feel, I write it as poetry, and that's why my form
That's
of...
your form of expression.
Yeah, and a lot of people kind of, I don't want to put it's abstract, right?
Yeah.
There's no name to it, there's no picture to it, there is no face to it. So a
Yeah.
lot of people can use that or connect to that for their own partners.
Absolutely.
So I kind of channelize my, the need for expression towards my partner, channelize in the form of art, and so that a lot of people can connect. And
Which is beautiful.
Yeah, rather than just putting a picture of somebody and that's the end of it. And I mean, it's good. I mean, it looks good on the feed. Two good-looking people, but I mean,
It's a private moment you want to
Yeah.
keep. No, I get it. I mean, since you brought this up, your character in the film does stand-up comedy, right?
yeah.
And when you are a stand-up comic or a singer or an artist or any kind of, you draw inspiration from life.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a line? Like in the film, there explores the potential of you crossing a line, right?
Yeah.
What is the line if that exists for art to draw inspiration from real life?
There is an ethical line. I mean, you cannot go beyond the law or the ethics.
True.
That's there. That's always there. But you can...
Yes, the legal line exists, but
Yeah.
where's the moral gray zone?
As an artist, it's always a grey zone, I feel. There's no black or white in at least what I feel my interpretation of, the craft is. It's always grey, and that's what the fun is, There is no trying to be preachy about it, or there's no form to it.
Yeah.
It's very abstract. So I feel like you can explore as much as you can under law and under your limits, but you should. I mean, you have to push yourself, and yeah, sometimes you might be a little morally wrong as at Siddhant, as I would feel that this is not right, but if it's needed for the character, if it's working for the character, if I need to derive that from Siddhant's life and put it there as a memory, or like, in a scene where I'm crying or something similar has happened, I use it. I remind myself of that, or sometimes I tend to create situations also to kind of facilitate the what's happening in the film, so that it looks natural, it looks real. For example, in Gully Boy, you see, even in this film, you see me smoking, right? And I don't smoke. Sorry.
No, just honestly.
Okay,
I
wait.
don't know, like, you can be a much better actor than that. Why would you make such a big lie?
Bro, if you don't say things with conviction, how do you expect me to fucking hold?
That's what I'm coming to, right? I had to smoke for Gully Boy.
I didn't smoke, say before. Don't say I don't
No,
smoke.
I swear, I never touched a cigarette till I was
Before.
24 years old. That was the first time, because the first time I took a drag in a scene, I could see that it's not. It hit me, and it was feeling a little unnatural.
Yeah.
So I kind of started smoking for that, and then I quit again. And then for this film as well, again I started smoking, because you have to be in touch with that, and sometimes it takes time to kind of let go of that.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling with that, and I'm gonna be honest, yeah. But that's my New Year resolution. I mean,
Become a therapy session.
it has. But I'm being honest, yeah, as
No,
much
I
as it is.
appreciate
But
the
whatever
honesty.
is needed for that craft, I'm ready to go. That
You're ready to go. Do you believe that, Ananya? Do you?
even she was smoking in the film.
In the film, yeah.
In the film.
In the film, no, actually, you know, they like Sid had to.
I used to make fun of her. Yeah, I mean,
It was so funny because Sid used to do.
She could light a
I
cigarette.
couldn't light a cigarette exactly. So Sid had to learn. Like we all were given tasks to do, right? So Sid had to learn stand up because that's what his character does, and Adarsh had to
course.
make his body. And my thing was as simple as lighting a cigarette, and I couldn't do it. Like my hands would shake, and Arjun would yell at me. He said, "You just have to light it." I was like, "I can't do it. I can't do it." Yeah, but it has to look convincing on screen, and if that
Absolutely.
means that it's something that you have to practice in real life, as long as you're in the law and ethics, as
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
been
And
talking
also your
about.
health. It's not
Yeah,
healthy.
exactly,
No, absolutely.
exactly.
But we have to go through a lot of. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
so many like the hours that you work sometimes.
A lot of
the
things.
Changes in your body, your hair.
body changes or
everything.
something. Body changes because
Yeah.
he'll speak about it. You're psychologically shifted. Because I mean,
I was
I'll
farting. Like I was eating
Were you eating a
so
lot of
many eggs
protein?
and chicken, man. My body was like a giant gas chamber. Like I was just like too much gas.
you're
and
the
so much
closest to him
protein.
right now.
Well, I mean, you were really in character. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't
people
have
who
a
watch the
choice. I
film.
mean, I had to get the body, so like I had
Yeah.
to eat like so much protein.
Tell about
And
the
I just-
psychological shift which happened later after you had to put down, like you stopped working out.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Now he's missing his jawline and everyone praising his jawline.
it's so, yeah. It feels almost weird to be speaking about your jawline and shit as an actor, you know.
I
but
get
like,
it, but-
it made me a bit dysmorphic weirdly, like, cause before that I would never think about like my body or whatever as an actor, you know. And then after that, now I'm just like, oh, like, why am I not as ripped as I was in the film? But like,
Yeah.
I can't be as ripped as I am in Kho Gaye because I'm playing a trainer in that. I'm playing something else in the next.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't make sense, but then your mind gets so used to that beautiful image that it's the best that you've seen yourself as,
Yeah.
and then you just want to like be like that. It's kind of weird, man. Yeah.
That is a strange experience. It must
It's
be.
a weird
Yeah.
job, yeah.
Yeah, it is a strange. I'm curious, Ananya, because you'd experienced dysmorphia. I feel like as
Yeah.
women, you experience dysmorphia all the time, especially because of social media and the beauty standards.
Terrible.
Do you feel like that's how do you deal with that? And how I'm sure people have comments all the time.
Yeah, all the time. I mean, before social media, it was in school. You know, in school you would
course.
just feel horrible about your body because people would be like, "Oh, you're hairy," or "You're too thin," or "You're this," or "You're that." So it's not just because of social media. It's been there
Yeah.
constantly. I mean, my only attempt is to be kinder to myself. When I started out, also I used to be on a very strict diet. I used to cheat on Sunday, and I used to fall sick because I used to eat so much because I was depriving myself because I wanted to look a certain way, or I thought I had to look a certain way. So I think I've become much kinder because when I see my younger sister, I never want her to feel anything bad about her body. Like I want her to be like she is to me the most perfect person ever, and I want every young kid out there to feel that way about themselves. So the only thing I can do as a role model in that sense is to be positive and happy about my body in whatever shape or form it is, and promote just good health and happiness above everything else.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, since you brought this up, y'all filmed this 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did-
1.5 years ago.
Last year.
2022.
years ago. How does it feel to see yourselves in that lens? Because I'm sure you've grown as actors, you've grown as people, your body's changed. Does it feel strange looking back?
It always does. Even if I shot something like 2 days ago, I'd be like, I could have done that better, I could have done that differently and stuff. But I think this film is like a time capsule. Like every time I watch it or I watch anything related to this film, I go back to exactly how we shot this film because it was that kind of like some films are just special, and I think every actor will say that, just the bonds that were created, the way it was shot. Like we were locked in for 3 months, we weren't doing any other work, we were just doing this, so it actually became our lives, So yeah, with this film, even though it feels so far away, it also feels like yesterday.
Brings back
I
that
would just
moment.
say. Yeah.
Did y'all know each other well before you shot?
They knew each other.
We did.
We did a film before. I was the new entrant to the club, but it was actually pretty breezy, since I think it was so easy. Like the first time I met them, I just instantly we got talking and we connected. It was at Arjun's house in Bandra,
Nice.
and yeah, it's pretty easy.
And he was first-time director
Yeah.
this, right? How was that?
Yeah.
Did it feel cool, nervous, scary? Did you have directorial input?
No.
Not really. I mean, I knew him since he was Zoya's assistant
Okay.
in Gully Boy, so I knew him since then. So yeah, he was a friend, and I knew he had a vision. He had the ambition to, execute something like this. So yeah, I mean, I was chill. We were just having fun, and I knew that he's doing a great job. So I mean, yeah, we were actually quite chill. In fact, after watching the film, I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I knew that he would pull it off, but he has outdone himself. Like he is. I mean, I loved what he did. With.
I'm just like really happy and proud that he made the film.
I'm
He
proud,
set out
yeah,
to
so-
make,
yeah,
you know.
exactly.
When we were all narrated the film, the vision he had,
Yeah.
you watch it, and for a first-time filmmaker to have that for you, to have
Yeah.
a strong enough voice, and obviously the people around him to help him facilitate, that.
Of course.
Just when you see someone's vision turn
Yeah.
out so
Come to life.
purely, you just feel so happy.
And you know what particularly stood out for me about Arjun was that Arjun as a guy is closest to who Sid's character is, Imad, right? Because he's always like he's got this attitude of like he's just like constantly joking around, and
Yeah.
you won't quite know if he's going through something in life, because he always wants to have a good time. He wants people around him to have a good time, and that's how Imad's character is. But Ahana and Neil's character, in spite of being so far away from the
Yeah.
life that he's lived,
Yeah.
are so well fleshed out. And not just that, even the smaller characters in the film,
Yeah.
like Neil's parents, Imad's parents,
Yeah.
Ahana's parents, Lala, Rohan, all
Yeah.
these people, the smallest of characters are so layered.
Absolutely.
No character feels like, yeah, this is not, come on, nobody behaves like this.
Yeah,
Every
yeah, yeah.
character feels like, shit, this is a real person. I feel like for somebody to make their first film and to accomplish that with each and every character
The
is
details.
is a
really
mark of
tough.
genius, really.
No,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah.
I remember when I watched the film, I loved the coloring of the film.
Yeah.
I love the cinematography because it, like you said, it felt like that capsule in time,
Yeah.
right? And you felt so drawn into that story. I forgot where I was sitting when I watched it, and I was at a small computer screen in front of me. I didn't even get the cinematic experience, and most people won't, right? Watching it on Netflix. I think it's such a smart choice
Yeah.
of everything in it, right? And I think for a lot of young people, they'll relate to a lot of people in the film. For me as a person, for me in the work that I do, I feel like I related to parts of each of your characters, and I'm curious if who did you relate to most within the film, and what did that look like for you?
I related to Ahana the most.
Yeah?
Yeah. I am Ahana, she's me.
She is. It felt very natural.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, you were so like real and natural in the film. I was like, yeah, that wasn't acting. That's me.
I think actually sometimes that's the best acting, because when it's so close to home,
Yeah,
it's-
sometimes it makes you feel even more like vulnerable and
Exactly.
exposed, I guess, in some way. But I related a lot to her, and I miss her. Like,
Yeah.
I just miss being her, because it helped me deal with so much of myself, at that time, what like I was feeling in my personal life and everything. It was like an outlet, and like I'm like I find myself like just like looking back at pictures, and I'm like, I miss being Ahana. Like she
Let's
was just
open
my
Jungle Gym.
heart, huh?
let's
Jungle
open
Gym
it.
Khol.
Yeah, part 2. Yeah.
Real life
Yeah.
pop-up merch,
Yeah.
whatever.
For me, I think the most relatable was his character. Yeah, because I.
With all the farting and the eggs.
What?
Oh, the
Fighting and
farting.
the angst. Farting and the angst?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard fighting and the angst.
No, the
I
Maybe
heard
both.
the farting.
the family dynamics
Yeah.
specifically, because I come from a similar background, so I really related to like I've said those things to my dad, and it's the similar, so I was exactly what when I read the script for the first time, I called Arjun, like I like my part and I like the film and everything. How did you crack Neil's character? Because this guy hasn't been in India. I think he's studied in London or somewhere.
In America.
In America.
He was born in London, but he studied like his high school. He did in India.
Yeah, and you can't. If you meet this guy, you won't be able to say like, how did he do that? And I was like, tell me, how did you get that character right? And it's so right. And that's when I knew that he's gonna make a good film, because the details were so like hard hitting. So I think that Neil's character was the most relatable. My character, I tend to choose characters which are not close to me. So
So you can distance yourself a little bit.
no, I just feel again. I mean, it's I don't know. I can't play myself on screen. I don't know.
It's boring to
It's
play
boring,
yourself,
na?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually really fun, guys.
She found it really cathartic.
I had fun.
But I don't think that...
I don't think she
You
has
don't
played
think she-
herself.
yeah,
and all,
Ahana is not like Ananya.
No.
Why?
I mean,
Because
there are
एक second,
traces
एक तो she has contradict. She's like, I have played myself, and she's like, I miss Ahana. Then
no,
how?
she's a part of me. Like, she's there.
Exactly.
She's
That's
a
why
version of me.
everybody-
She's not entirely
No,
me.
no, of
But, like,
course.
even when you grow up, you miss an old version of yourself. It's like that.
Look, of course, when you read for a part and you play a part, you are going to identify certain parts of
Your
yourself
life,
in
yeah.
it. But I feel like Ahana is very different from who
Yeah.
Ananya is.
Really?
Yes, I do. In all honesty, I do. I feel like I relate to Neil and my client who I train the most, who doesn't want to run on the treadmill and who compares herself to Malaika.
To
And she's like,
Anita.
Why Anita? Like, why can't I look like her? That's exactly what I was saying to my trainer when I just started training. Literally 1.5 months into training,
You're like, I want to be Malaika.
I'm pulling up Brad Pitt's picture from Fight Club. I'm like, why can't I look like him? He's like, bro, you've just started. What are you talking about?
He used to
It's gonna
panic
take
call
some
me
time.
at the start. I was like, bro, kaise
I'm
karu,
like,
kya
bro, why
karu?
the abs not showing? He's like, dude, you've just started. Just calm down. It's gonna take some time. Trust the process. So I think Anita and Neil both.
Anita and you both. I love that.
I love Anita.
Anita's my
Anita's a
favorite.
great character. Y'all should find out who Anita is in the film.
Yeah.
But as we wrap this up, what's one message you want a young person watching this to know or take away from the film?
Just go and hug your friends and don't stop hugging them.
That's
They
really
eventually leave them.
Like in a non-creepy way.
Yeah.
I think celebrate your birthday with your family.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and even I don't do that. It's like I'm preaching, but I don't do that. But I want to do that from next year. It's kind of sad that your birth givers,
are not there to
Your
Are
first
not-
birthday was with them and then you just
yeah,
stopped.
and you're
Yeah,
just like
true.
abandoning them as you grow older. You're just
That's
like,
true.
you know, you celebrate with your friends, and sure, you cut a cake at home or whatever for
Yeah,
like
yeah.
formality's sake. But I feel it's so much nicer to spend your birthday with the person who's actually
giving
Brought
birth
you
to.
here.
Yeah, of course.
Be yourself, guys. The world is very noisy these days. Just focus on your work, be yourself, chill, just watch Netflix 26th of December.
oh yeah, 26.
Don't watch anything on
No
Netflix, watch
gyan.
our film.
Watch your
Watch
film.
There's
Kho
so
Gaye.
much gyan on reels anyway. तुम लोग बस मजे करो लाइफ में यार. Chill करो.
Yeah. For how long is the film? 2 hours?
2 hours,
2
10.
hours.
For 2 hours?
But it
Cool
feels
job.
like, you know,
Yeah, it flies
breeze,
by.
it goes
Just
by.
immerse yourself in the world of Kho Gaye Hum
Kho
Kahan
Gaye Hum Kahan.
and have a blast. Yeah. Thank
Ah,
you.
Thank you.
Ah, you
Not
wanted
his
to
kind
say
of blast.
Yeah.
Not
We now know
farting.
the
No, I
secret.
promise. My level of protein's really gone down.
you
It's not
haven't
as
been
bad as
like-
it used
Not
to
as
be.
bad as it used to be.
It's not as unpredictable as it used
You've
to
only
be.
had 3 cups of dude today.
Yeah, you've been having a lot of healthy dudes.
Does that?
Milk
I
is
am
pretty
scared he's
gassy,
changing his position like that.
Milk is quite gassy,
You're good.
right?
I'll give you a heads up.
Yeah,
If
that's great.
something's coming out.
We'll know.
Yeah,
We'll
you'll
know.
know.
We'll know. When he's not looking as spaced out, we'll know.
Concentrate.
Totally kidding.
Sound is the cue for me.
Sound is the cue. Well, thank you all so much for watching.
Thank
and
Thank you so much.
Yes, don't forget to catch the film Kho Gaye Hum Kahan on the 26th of December on Netflix and experience the world and escape for a little bit yourself. Thank you.
Thank you.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.